If you're watching this, you might be wondering, why is there a yellow biohazard hood on my Jeep? Well, the time has finally come. And today I'm doing the Poison Spyder hood louver install. The original plan was I was going to buy a spare hood and install this on that hood. That way if I screwed it up, I still had my original hood. But then, long story short, that hood I got was in better shape than mine. It was absolutely perfect condition and had a little bit of a history behind it too. So I'm just keeping it as a fallback. So if I screw mine up, then at least I've got something to replace it with. So this install is actually, it's fairly simple. It comes with a giant template that you cut out. They suggest that you use Sharpie markers, just like you see here, to align it in the windshield bumpers, the holes where the windshield bumpers mount. And then you just tape it down. Basically all you're using this template for is, you see the circles with the crosshairs in them, those are places where you're going to use a punch, and then you're going to remove the template and drill. That's all that template is used for. You don't use it for drilling the outside holes or anything like that. It's just for these to mark the spots for the hole saw, and those are kind of your outside boundaries and corners for the sections you're actually going to cut out. The hardest thing I've ever had to do, I believe, is cut a hole in a perfectly good hood. It took me a little bit of time just looking at it and trying to convince myself I even wanted to do it. After you knock the first hole in it, it goes extremely quick. Once there's no turning back, it's actually quite simple. It is important to have the hole saw that's good quality, sharp. You don't want to have something dull that's going to be grabbing and twisting the metal and such. So you will have to drill, let's see, 4 of those holes for each section, so about 16 large holes with the hole saw. And there's also a part where you will have to flip the hood over, and there's an X brace underneath that you'll have to hole saw from the other way once you drill your holes for the bolts around the outside of the louver. Here you can see I've started to cut. Got some of the sections cut out, got one more to go. You can also see the X brace exposed. They'll tell you in the instructions not to cut through that. Obviously that gives your hood structure. You don't want to cut that. I found that it was impossible to not nick into it a little bit. I didn't cut all the way through it, but I did cut it some, very minorly. So there's also some sticky stuff underneath there that's kind of attaching the metal to the X brace. So as you cut those sections out, you'll have to apply some pressure to kind of pull them free of that sticky stuff. Also took the time to clean up underneath where the hood hinges connect, because this was kind of an area where it just had like some kind of black gunky stuff and some rust, and so I cleaned those up, masked them off, painted. Also all the holes and the sections cut out, you want to be sure that you grind all that stuff down, paint it, keep rust away. For drilling the holes, this is what you'll actually do, is you're going to use the hood louver itself as a template for that, and drill out each hole. So you'll be taking the louver on and off several times as you go through this process. Now, as I finish bolting this down here, I wanted to bring up a couple of things that I often see people asking about the hood louver, and one is, will that help with my engine overheating problem? And the second one is, what about the water when it rains and such? No, it will not help with overheating. It is a functioning hood louver, so what it does help with is engine compartment heat. but it will not help if you have an overheating problem with the engine. That's another problem with the cooling system. For the water, that was one thing that concerned me as well. And at the end of this video, actually, you'll see I kind of put it through a water test with the garden hose and sprinkler attachment, and I really soak it, and you kind of see, for the most part, most of the water falls in the front of in the space in the front of the engine, not actually on the engine. The back two holes do drip water on the engine, but really it's in a non-critical area. It's not dripping on electronics or anything like that, so I don't suspect it'll be an issue, but you can see for yourself kind of what the water does when it rains. I can't really imagine this being much different from the times I've been off-roading, because I've had mud and such on the underneath of the hood before this louver was installed, so I know that water and mud and such get up there anyway. So that's it for Poison Spyder hood louver install and water test.